My sister walked in, as though the walls themselves had cleared a path for her. Her heels clicked with casual certainty across the courtroom floor, and the air seemed to bend around her confidence. Sat a few rows back, my hands folded in my lap, pretending the documents in front of me were enough to occupy my attention. The motion was simple. The words on the page even simplered ownership of the castle. Effective immediately. Her lawyer slid it forward like sliding a chess piece across a polished board. My parents nodded, almost in unison, a gesture so smooth it could have been rehearsed. I caught my mother's eyes for a fraction of a second, brief warmth that vanished in the next heartbeat. The judge looked at me, neutral, patient, expecting compliance. "Do you object?" I hesitated, thinking about how many times my voice had been ignored at family dinners, in birthday plans, over inherited property disputes that ended before I could speak. My throat went dry, but my reply came in the smallest, controlled voice I could manage. "Please wait for the last person." The courtroom shifted its attention toward the door. Man in a black suit entered, perfectly timed. No hurry, no fanfare, just deliberate steps across the threshold, held an envelope up in his hand, and when he said my name, it didn't sound like it had in family whispers or overlooked letters. Sounded like acknowledgement. The judge took the envelope, broke the seal, read silently. I didn't move. My sister's gaze flicked toward the judge, then back at me, an almost imperceptible hesitation passing across her features. Parents' synchronized nods froze mid-air. "That can't be possible," the judge whispered, not for the courtroom but for himself. The document was short, legally precise. I recognized the signatures before he even spoke them aloud. Unassailable claim proving my connection to the property, evidence that had lain dormant, waiting for someone patient enough to reveal it. The room fell into silence. Not the kind of dramatic hush found in courtroom movies. This was the cold, sharp pause that comes when authority enforces clarity against assumed certainty. My sister's lawyer paled slightly, rifling through papers as if searching for a misprint. She had counted on the performance of her confidence, on my silence, stayed seated. My heartbeat slowed, though my mind raced. I did not gloat. I did not rise to make a statement. Power had shifted quietly. The man in the black suit had arrived like gravity, not wind. The judge's hands rested lightly on the envelope as if the truth itself carried weight. I remembered being erased invitations, never sent, letters ignored, the subtle choreography of exclusion that had defined my family. And now, in this quiet courtroom, those old erasures were reframed by facts, not sentiment. My sister's posture changed first. She looked around, her certainty faltering imperceptibly, a fleeting shadow of doubt in her eyes. My parents exchanged glances. For the first time in decades, I understood that nods can be rehearsed, but they cannot override truth. Judge placed the envelope on the bench. He did not lecture, nor did he dramatize the reversal. Proceedings would be adjourned. Ownership could not be granted to her without contest. Control, for the first time, had quietly realigned with me. The courtroom emptied unevenly. Conversations resumed, papers shuffled, but I remained in my seat a moment longer, savoring the absence of spectacle. No applause, no vindictive smiles, no grand exit. Just the return of my presence where it had always belonged, though unrecognized. I stood finally and walked toward the door, steps steady. Outside, the air was the same, the streets the same, the city indifferent, but I was no longer invisible. My name had been spoken aloud, my claim undeniable, my dignity returned without performance. The castle remained a legal puzzle, resolved for now, My sister would have to reckon with patience, procedure, and facts. My parents would have to recognize, however quietly, that certainty cannot substitute authority. And I would walk forward, no longer erased, carrying the simple, celebrated victory of acknowledgement. Some things could not be changed, some silences would remain. But in that courtroom, truth had arrived quietly, deliberately, like a man in a black suit who had waited until the right moment to open the door.